There are 30 teams in the NBA, and yet I feel every season we only talk about 5 or 6 of them. So in this video, we're going to change it up. And I'm going to say at least one good thing about every NBA team and why you should check them out. Let's get into it. Yo, this Iso plays. Typical YouTube shit. Like and subscribe. But let's get back to the video. So, what got me on this whole diatribe, and I'm going to go on a quick little tangent because I have to, even though I'm late to it. Got to get my 2 cents in. Dennis Schroeder. I know we love to make all these memes and make fun of him, how he fumbled the bag and he could have had an $84 million extension with the Lakers midway through the season. He thought he could get more, bet on himself, and he lost that bet and only got a 1 year, $6 million contract with the Celtics. And I really feel for the dude. I'm not a huge Dennis Schroeder fan, I've never really followed him, but we should applaud people who bet on themselves because it's a very scary thing to do. Like, would you be willing to risk your whole next, pay contract to potentially get 20% more? I feel most people, yeah, if you believe in yourself and you know you could do a good job, but shit didn't pan out that way, partly because of the market, partly I think his agent screwed up. But I feel for him and I'm really rooting for him. So on the flip side, so we'll start a little out of order. Boston Celtics. You should watch them because I think this is going to be a comeback year for him. They've kind of faltered. They've shot way too high on getting these big name point guards, and it doesn't pan out. And the reason why I think is Jason Tatum is your star, Jalen Brown is your consistent two. You don't need an all-star point guard. You just need that consistent guy who can give you 15.7 assists. And I think Schroeder could do that and maybe even a little bit more. So they got him on a steal. So check out the Celtics. I think they're really going to surprise people. Brad Stevens, he was an awesome coach. I think he has the potential to be an even better manager. So definitely check out the Celtics. The Bulls, I went on my whole rant last video. They're going to be an exciting team. I think they have good chances to be a top 4 team in the East. And even if they're not, they're actually actively going for it, which we're not seeing a lot of teams. They've been scared to. They've been playing it too safe. So I'm excited to see the Bulls. You should check them out. Cleveland. Their starting point guards, their nickname is Sexland. I mean, come on. That's just fun. And also, who knows what's going to happen next with Kevin Love? Is he going to throw a basketball at a ref? We have no idea. So that's going to be pretty entertaining. Check out Cleveland. The Denver Nuggets, my hometown team. Of course, I'm going to recommend you check them out, but it should be obvious. We have the most unique, best center in the league. Jokic, debatably a top 3 passer, period, in the league, not even among big men. That's going to be exciting. And once we get Jamal Murray back, who knows what's going to happen? So that's exciting. The Toronto Raptors, you should check them out because Drake might be out of game. That's a joke. That's a joke. It's more than just Drake. Toronto, they have a lot of good young pieces, and they did just win a championship. Granted, it was with Kawhi, but they have Masai Ujiri. He used to be the general manager of the Nuggets, helped us build back up. He's highly, highly underrated as a GM. I don't think they're finished with their offseason. I could see them going for a big trade. So I think you should check them out too. The Sacramento Kings. Because who doesn't love watching a good dumpster fire? And I know I said I was going to be positive, but it's such a clusterfuck there. But guess what? Fires are fun to watch sometimes. So who knows? Are they going to trade Buddy Hield? Or are they going to trade Marvin Bagley? Is De'Aaron Fox going to take another step and become a Derrick Rose 2.0? I really think he could be. He has that speed. He has that athleticism. But it seems like his biomechanics are a little bit better than Rose's. I think he has a less chance of being injured. Either way, I think they're going to be a fun young team. And especially if you're going to root for a California team, why not root for the underdog? Because if we're going to talk about the Lakers, we all know why you should watch the Lakers. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Westbrook. It's going to be very entertaining whether they do great or they fail. No matter what, going to be a fun time. The Clippers, will they finally get out of the shadow of the Lakers? That's why I say you should watch them. Because they've been fighting for it. We thought counted them out when Kawhi went out last year, and they were still able to beat the #1 seed in Utah. I think they have a huge chip on their shoulder, and they've only gotten stronger and stronger as this chorus came together. It all comes down to whether Kawhi's injury is as bad as some people think it is or not. But either way, I think you should check them out. The last team in California, the Warriors. We got to see how Clay does. We got to. I've always loved Clay. He's just, if I could ever model my own kind of play style or how I'd want to be as a basketball player, it would be Klay Thompson. Lights out shooter, can hit it from anywhere on the court, but at the same time, also a very elite defender. You don't see a lot of that. Most guys, they're picking one or the other. Even Giannis, who's won MVP, won a championship, defensive player of the year, he can't shoot. That part of his game is weak. So to find someone who's a pure shooter, but also a lockdown defender, that's an awesome thing to see. And also, they got some young guns. I still feel like they're going to go for a big trade. But regardless, as the team is now, they're going to be a fun team. And I think they're a sleeper. No team's going to want to have to face them in the playoffs. Because they got Steph, they got Clay, and they're dangerous. Let's go back over to the East Coast. Miami Heat. They're going to be very exciting. They were just in the finals 2 years ago. They've revamped their team. They're a little bit on their older side, and that makes me a little bit scared. But Jimmy Butler is a fucking dog. Kyle Lowry's a dog. They have they got PJ Tucker from the Bucks. He's a dog. They're a team that you're going to want to have to look out for. No team is going to want to have to face them when it comes to their defense. So I think they're going to be very exciting. You should definitely check them out. The 76ers. Got to check them out. Embiid is still that classic good big man. If you prefer old school basketball, that bully ball, that Shaq kind of style, Embiid gives you that with a little bit of extra flair. If you're not following Embiid on Twitter, you definitely should. And I don't recommend a lot of people on Twitter because that's a whole dumpster fire. He's entertaining as hell. Hopefully they trade Ben Simmons, get some other stuff in there because that drama's not, the most fun. But it's also hella entertaining. You gotta love the memes. Now let's talk about some of the smaller market teams because all the teams I've listed off, they have pretty decent fan bases. The Utah Jazz. They were the #1 seed last year, and they got a chip on their shoulder. Donovan Mitchell, he's deadly. I think he's one of the most fiercest, clutchest players. He has that Dame time gene in him. And I think they're going to do big, especially Rudy Gobert. He showed out in the Olympics. They want to show that it wasn't a fluke and that they didn't just get lucky. The Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo fucking Ball. That's all I got to say. But they also, low-key, they had some really good signings. They are a young and very hungry team. I think they're going to be very interesting. The Pelicans, you got Zion. That's all you need. Zion, I am a firm believer, once LeBron retires, as long as he can stay healthy and keep his weight in control, he is a prime candidate to be the face of the league. I'm not saying he's going to be the best player, and that's a real quick, another side tangent I have to go on. The best player in the league does not equal the face of the league because it's more than that. You have to have that marketability, that person you can relate to. That's not going to be Jokic. That's not going to be Embiid. That's not going to be Giannis. Part of that is all their foreign players, and let's be real. I think it's going to be very, very hard for a foreign player to become the face of the league. I think Luka has the best chance for that. But at the end of the day, I think Zion, just the name itself, Zion Williamson, that gets me excited. I want to check that guy out. I don't care what sport it is. Dude's name is fucking Zion. And it helps. He's pretty good at the whole basketball thing. So the Pelicans, definitely a team you should check out. The Memphis Grizzlies. Again, a very young and up-and-coming team. Ja Morant. All right, I take back what I said. De'Aaron Fox is Derrick Rose 2.0. No, that's Ja. Especially, he has such a killer. He doesn't care if you're 8 feet fucking tall. He's going to try to yam that ball in your face directly at the rim. He is just a human highlight film all on it himself. And they have a bunch of other good young talent. I think they're going to be a super exciting team. A sleeper. I think they could maybe even sneak into the 8th seed in the West. They were already pretty close last year. The Phoenix Suns. We got to see, can they run it back? Everyone was saying how they just got lucky with injuries and everything. And of course, that is true to a degree. But I think people aren't giving Chris Paul the credit. I don't think they're giving Monty Williams, their coach, enough credit. And you have to think they're going to have another year of Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton honing their skills and getting even better. Devin Booker was just in the Olympics. I don't think people realize how much the Olympics, I think, helps a lot of these athletes. They get to play against different styles of talent. They get to be on a even bigger stage than what the NBA normally is. I think it helps players a lot. So definitely check them out too. The Detroit Pistons. How could I forget about them? They got the number one guy, Cade Cunningham. Didn't have the best opening in the summer league. Didn't shoot efficiently, but he had some nice steals. Had great assists, rebounds. He has that vision. Oversized guards. I absolutely love him. I think they're gonna be great. And even though I'm butthurt that he left Denver, I'm still rooting for the boy Jeremy Grant. He was a dude who bet on himself, and it did pay off. So go him. Minnesota Timberwolves. I I just want to see them do good. They've always been a rival of the Nuggets, but I just feel for them. They have a star top 10 center, debatably a top 10 player in Karl Anthony Towns. I feel for him. He went through a lot during all of, these virus times, losing a lot of family members, including his own mom. I want to see him bounce back and just have a career year. I really want to see them do well. And so I'm very hopeful for them. The Indiana Pacers. I don't have much to say about them. I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of the Pacers, but I will say Karis LeVert, he had a crazy story, getting traded, and who would have thought that trade saved his life? He found out he had cancer, was able to get treatment for his tumor and everything. He's finally going to have a full season under his belt. I want to see him do awesome things with the Pacers. And I honestly think he could. The Orlando Magic. They're out here. Jonathan Isaac. Dude's easily, in my opinion, the very best defender in the league, and it's not even close. He has the size, he can guard 1 through 5, but he has that speed and that quickness that he's not going to get burnt by those smaller dudes. So I'm really excited for the Magic. The Rockets. For the longest time, I was not a huge fan of the Rockets because I don't like James Harden and I don't like his style of play. I know he's a phenomenal basketball player. I just don't find it entertaining, all the foul baiting. And now I can finally root for the Rockets again. It's looking like they might actually have the steal. They went and they drafted Jalen Green. He played in the G League and ended up being the second round pick, which I love. It's going to show players you don't have to go the college route to be a top lottery pick. And he's just a bucket getter, just straight buckets for days. And I think he has a chance to steal Rookie of the Year from Cade. Time will tell, but I feel pretty confident in it. Speaking of James Harden, let's go on to the Nets. They're gonna be entertaining. We want, as much as we talk shit about super teams, you can't deny that they create some beautiful basketball. Like, I remember they were saying it was like the play of the year when they got that steal and then they inbounded it. Blake threw it up, and then I want to say it was like Kyrie or someone like threw it behind the back and they had that alley-oop dunk. It was just so entertaining, so phenomenal. And I don't want them to win it all because I still don't love super teams that win everything. But I would love for them to be healthy and go toe-to-toe, see if Giannis can prove himself that he's actually, the dominant team. And speaking of that, the Bucks, we want to definitely see the Bucks. See, can they repeat it? Was this also them just getting lucky because of injuries? Because a lot of people say, if the Nets were healthy, they had Kevin Durant and half of James Harden, and they were Kevin Durant's foot on a line away from blowing it and losing to the Nets. So I think the Bucks, they've hit that top, but let's see if they can run it back and can they repeat it. I think they have a good chance. It's going to be very entertaining. All I can hope is that the Nets are actually healthy. Because nothing's worse than when you see a team lose and at the bottom of your heart that health had a lot to do with it. That's just facts. Whether you're a fan of that team or not, I think you have to be honest with yourself and realize, this team, they have great potential. The San Antonio Spurs. I guess we're going to find out. Is Pop really that great of a coach? Or was he just blessed to have Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. And don't get me wrong, he had a part in getting all of these players. He's been a huge advocate for those European players. But now that he doesn't have any star talent, can the Spurs? They have a lot of good young guys. I've heard they've been in rumors to try to get Ben Simmons. If anyone can fix Ben Simmons, it would be Greg. But also Popovich, he's not a big fan of the three. And so I'm not sure. Maybe he'd be feeding. That's a whole other rant. My whole thing, the Spurs, I think you should check him out to see if Popovich is as real and as great as we all think he is. The Trailblazers. How the fuck could I forget about the Trailblazers? Damien Lillard. He's easily one of my top 3 favorite players currently in the league. And I just want to see him do well, man. I really do. He is a phenomenal rapper. He puts on for his city. He's loyal almost to a fault, some would say. And I just want to see him do well. Especially, they lost Melo. I get it. Melo's out here trying to get the ring. That's the one thing he needs on his resume. But it's not looking good for him. But I think if anyone can literally carry and drag their team to the playoffs, it would be Dame. Because it's something he's already done on the reg. The Knicks, another team we want to see. Can they prove themselves? Was last year just a fluke? I'll give them credit. They could have easily gone out this offseason and just been going for all these crazy big names, overpaying for contracts, and been like, oh, well, we're New York. We'll figure it out. But they're playing it smart. They got a good, competent team. They have a good coach. They're going to run it back. And as long as they can, still make the playoffs, they're probably not winning it all or anything next year. Let's be real. But if they can show and prove that they're competent and keep the cap space, I think a lot more star players are going to be more prone to want to go there. So I want to see, was last year just a fluke or are they real? Plus, it's New York. There's just a different feel, in my opinion. Even just watching on the TV a game in Madison Square Garden, being able to pan and you see all the celebrities, just the energy of the crowd. It doesn't matter who they're facing. It's going to be sold out and they're going to be loud. So the Knicks, I can't believe I'm saying it because they were the dumpster fire of the league for the longest time. I'm excited for them, and I want to see them play. The Wizards. I'm going to be real. The main reason why you should watch them is to see, can they keep Bradley Beal happy? Because he's in that same, vein of blood as Damian Lillard, where he's loyal almost to a fault. And he's repeatedly over and over said he wants to stay with the team. He doesn't want to leave. And at this point, it seems like they're just throwing shit at the wall. They're like, oh, how about Westbrook? Oh, no, that doesn't work. All right, well, now we're giving you Spencer Dinwiddie, which, don't get me wrong, I love Dinwiddie, but he just missed a full year with an ACL tear. We have no idea the type of player he's going to be. So it's going to be a crapshoot, and I feel if halfway through the season the Wizards aren't doing well, Beal, I think, is going to be fed up, and that will be what sets the whole league afire because everyone wants Bradley Beal, especially, my Nuggets. So watch them just for the sole reason. Maybe your team could end up with Beal if they fuck up. Again, we all love to watch fires. 2 of my favorite young players are the last 2 teams we have to talk about. So first, we got to talk about the Hawks. They surprised everyone this last year in the playoffs, making it all the way to the conference finals, and eventually, we all knew it was going to happen. They lost to the Bucks. But people were thinking they were going to lose to New York. They were thinking they were going to... I thought they were going to lose to the 76ers. And granted, there was injuries and Ben Simmons, shit in the bed and whatnot. But that doesn't take away from what they've done. We'll have to see, they're talking how the league's changing, foul baiting and whatnot. And that was a part of Trey's game. But he's good enough. He might not have as good of stats as this last year. But debatably also, he's going to up his game. So I'm really excited for the Hawks. They have a lot of very good young guys who I think are only going to get better. And they also dealt with injuries last year. So will they make it all the way to the conference finals like last year? Who's to say? But they're going to sure as hell be entertaining to watch. So check them out. And at the very last, Dallas Mavericks. The jersey I'm wearing right now. The Wonder Boy Luka. Every time he steps up on the court, you just know he's going to do something crazy. And a lot of people like to be like, oh, Luka's a diva, yada, yada. And we're like, yeah, but at this point, I feel he's kind of earned it. being literally just one of the youngest guys to go out there and just dominate. Take the Clippers all the way to 7 games when he has no real help. I'm so excited for what the Mavericks do, and they're one of the few teams I'm afraid for the Nuggets to have to face in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's all 30 teams. Some teams, of course, there's more to be excited about than others. But at the end of the day, I don't think it changes. If you're bored on, a Tuesday night, your team that you normally follow isn't playing, check out one of these other guys. They might offer something that you didn't even realize you were missing out on. Love y'all. Bazooka Shack. Good day, gang.